don't be silly. Everyone was in the playground. Nadim had a surprise. It was a police snake. He had brought it on holiday. Mrs. May called everyone inside. Anina had an idea. She wanted to play a trick on Mrs. May. Leave the snake here. The children went outside. Inside, Mrs. May told them to sit down. Mrs. May, called Anina. I can see a snake in the playground. I can see it too, said Wilf. Everyone said they could see it. Mrs. May looked outside. There is a snake outside. Mrs. May gave Anina's placed bag. She told her to put the snake in the bag. Oh, Mrs. May, you know it was a police snake, said Bill. No, for my snake, said Mrs. May. What snake is that? Said Biff. The adder, said Mrs. May. You can all do some addition sums. Everyone was doing addition sums. The sums were hard. Then Will flew aside. Look, he yelled. There was a donkey in the playground. It's the donkey, called Anina. Mrs. May, everyone called. There's a donkey in the playground. Mrs. May looked close. Is it made of plastic too? She said. It's true, Mrs. May, said Wilf. Look out of the window. Mrs. May looked out of the window. She saw a donkey. Someone will have to catch it, said Anina. Mrs. May can catch it with a placed bag, called Nadim. Mrs. May was cross. Don't be silly, Nadim, she said. Should we put animal rescue? Asked Biff. That's a good idea, Biff, said Mrs. May. Sit quietly while I go to the pond. At playtime, the children talked about the donkey. It was easy to catch, began with. But then it wouldn't move, said Anina. Two people pulled it, began to chip. And two people pushed it, said Bill. We didn't do any more work. Well, it's time to walk now, said Miss May. Come back to the classroom. You can learn to spell something. Spell what? Miss May, said Wilf. Donkey, said Miss May. Everyone was doing spelling. Wilf looked into the playground. Look, he yelled. There was a goose outside. It's a goose, said Anina. Mrs. May, there's a goose in the playground. Mrs. May looked cross. Don't be silly, Anina, she said. It's true, Mrs. May, said Chip. Look out of the window. Mrs. May looked out of the window. Oh my goodness, she said. But it may not be a goose. It may be a gator. Well, you call animal rescue, said Nadim. Yes, said Mrs. May. But I'm going to shoot it onto the fight. I can't stay in the playground. The children wanted to help. No, said Mrs. May. Sit quietly. She went outside and waved her arm at the gator. The gator looked at Mrs. May. Then it began to chase her. The gator has pecked Mrs. May on the bottom. Yeah, Biff. Mrs. May, come inside. Are you all right, Mrs. May? Asked Anina. Yes, thank you, said Mrs. May. I've got a joke, said Nadim. Want friend to gators like? We don't know, said Chip. Gooseberry, laughed Nadim.